What is a genuine we don't want you to know this one? Simple trick from your profession. Worked for Pizza Hut for 2 years. Pepperoni pizza was $5. Double pepperoni was $8. A pepperoni with added pepperoni was $7, which was the exact same thing as a double pepperoni. Only one customer I served had figured that out. At Domino's, extra cheese and double cheese both count as one topping. So if it's a medium 2-topping pizza, get double cheese and pepperoni instead of extra cheese. More cheese, same price. A lot of electronics you buy that have varying premium versions are all the same crap. We just turn off features to sell them at different price points. It's cheaper to make and keep inventory. Auto parts. It is very common for the exact same part that was made to the same specifications, by the same people, in the same factory, at the same time, to be put in 2 different boxes and sold at 2 different prices. You think with the more expensive brand that you're paying for higher quality, but very often it is just the name brand, part in box with a value brand label on it. The tricky part is knowing when that is the case and when it is not. If debt collectors are calling you, tell them you want proof of the debt and you want all future communication in writing. No phone calls. If it's a legit debt you will still owe the money, but they will contact you by mail and stop calling you. If they keep calling you after you tell them to stop, they might be breaking state or federal law, or both, and you should report them to the FTC and your state attorney general. If they can't demonstrate that the debt is legit, and they are smart, they'll stop trying to collect it. And nobody is going to send fake debt notices through the mail, because then you've pissed off the USPS. That's a felony, and they have their own federal police department that is both as legally powerful as the FBI and insanely bored. You don't want to frick with them. Nanny here. The one secret that results in sleep-trained babies and well-behaved children. Consistency. If you need a child to change their way of doing things, then you must not give up on it or them. Well, in 99.99999% of cases. Teacher here. Read to your children every day, even infants. Then, read with your child, and let them see you read. You have no idea how much this gives your child. Interlibrary loan. We don't have this book. I bet some library around the world does. They'll ship it to us and you can have it, free of charge. I did this for my thesis. Apparently, it doesn't happen a lot. Probably because people don't know it's an option, and the librarians were pretty excited to help. Bakeries often throw all their baked goods away at the end of the day. If you come into my shop and you nicely ask if you can take some stuff home, I'll happily give it to you rather than throw away perfectly good food. I work in tourism. Packages that bundle tours and hotels and flights into one price for a great deal are usually more expensive than just booking the individual components separately. I mean, people are then paying for the commodity of someone doing the work for them. Not really sure if this counts, but whenever I start a new hobby I Google things I wish I knew when I started. It has really helped. Not my industry, but about 40% of Americans have taxes simple enough that the government has all the information needed to determine what they owe. The government could recalculate your taxes, send it to you and then have you confirm or correct it. But they don't do that because the tax prep industry lobbies hard against it. Anything that makes taxes easier hurts them. I'm actually always baffled by people that just get straight W-2s that still pay someone to do their taxes. It's actually super easy to do your taxes yourself if all you have is a W-2 form. If you're self-employed with property, etc., it gets a little more complicated, but whatever. Timeshares never grow in value. In fact, they are only a bill that increases that you will have to pay $5,000 just to get out of owning. People don't understand that timeshares aren't a good investment. LOL. There's a girl I go to class with who swears her parents got a steal. You can only use it at certain times and can't even use it without prior notice. As a project manager in IT, being open and honest about not knowing something or needing help. I don't know how to do this. Will you please help me? Is one of the most powerful tools you will ever have at your disposal when working with other people in any line of work. I used to teach programming. Are you trying to learn to code and getting stuck? You do not need special coaching or mentoring. You do not need a boot camp. Most probably, you need to try something and be okay with it failing. Fire up Python, type some random boolean, press enter, and get an error message. Notice that your computer has not exploded. Notice that things are okay. No, you do not yet have a $300K job at Google. That's fine. Most of the way that people fail to learn to code is not that they can't understand GraphQL, or MapReduce, or deep learning, or the Paxos consensus algorithm, or quicksort. It's that they get scared and confused. The best mentor is not one who you're paying a bunch of money to explain your code to you. The best mentor is one who helps you get comfortable trying things, failing, and trying more things. Real programmers spend a lot of time staring at weird error messages. I find I learn best by seeing examples of code that works, going so that's the freaking format for this type of crap, and adapting it to my problem. Not me but my brother. He worked with preschool children. Whenever they tell you something you don't understand, just say wow, that's crazy, etc. Back at them. 90% of the time they're just telling you about some weird thing they thought about, and not asking a genuine question or expecting you to say something specific back to them. Daddy, I'm so hungry. Bro, that's crazy. This is my former profession, but don't watch TV news. Instead, read your local newspaper and a good national newspaper from a major city. You'll be 10x better informed. This is absolutely not true in the UK. Our print press is fully 50% trash, and our TV news is required by law to promote balance. Not without issues, but good God, when I went to the States it's a mess. Talking to a customer service representative like it was a friend will often loosen them up and open up to give you a good deal and advice. Customer service professional here, we actually do want you to know this. Our job is to help you. Treat us like real people with good intent and we will give you everything we can. Funeral director here. You are absolutely not required to go through a funeral home. Anything we do you can do yourself. Most people just need us because they are too overwhelmed to take care of things on their own, but really it's not mandatory. Edit. For clarification, you still have to have a mortician if you want to have the body embalmed, which is a total scam generally, and you cannot burn the body yourself, you have to give it to a crematory. Other than that, you can clean and dress the body yourself, make funeral arrangements yourself, hold a ceremony in your own home, and bowl your own casket. Good to know. Shoves grandpa's body into the campfire. Not my profession but sort of close to it. AC service companies down here in Florida say about 70% of their service calls are to replace the capacitor, fan motor, or clogged drain line which shuts off your AC. Most are gonna hit you with $75-ish service call just to come to your house, then charge double what the parts cost, plus the hourly labor rate. Both of these parts are easy to replace yourself. I bought both on Amazon for cheap so I have them if needed and take a shop vac to the drain line about every quarter. It's always one of those three, and always on a dang Sunday which is double the cost lol. You have to be careful with the capacitor, though. I might leave that one to the pros. Ignore all complicated investment advice. Just buy the cheapest US equity index fund, add a little each month, and do not look at the statements for 20 years. You can fit nearly any fancy new lock you see at the shop yourself. They're not particularly complicated to fit and usually come with very good instructions if not a YouTube video. Half my job as a locksmith was fitting dead bolts. Seriously, it's not that hard. Also a hint, locks don't stop a determined intruder. Get a security system. Again, do it yourself. Security companies charge a fortune for their systems that are usually no better than the ones in the shop. The only advantage to a security company is that they will monitor your alarms, but really, if you rig it up to call you then you are your own security company. Even with a security company, they will call you, assuming the invader doesn't cut your phone lines or unplug the alarm battery in under 30 seconds, and it's based on you being able to get to the home. Most police stations won't respond to a call, especially in a large city. Your Android phone keeps its 4G antenna on, even if you're connected to Wi-Fi. This is to keep an active network connection so that, when you leave your Wi-Fi, the 4G connection is already active and you keep browsing seamlessly. Problem is, keeping the antenna on drains battery. Go to phone settings, about phone, software information, Tap on the build number 7 8 times until developer mode is unlocked. Go to the newly unlocked developer options below about phone and deselect mobile data always active. You've just increased your battery life. I just did this and mine's off by default. If you drop the crap you stole before you exit the store, we won't apprehend you. We just care about getting our crap back anyways. As a former detention officer, we don't want you to know that you can get healthier, higher quality food by claiming to be gluten intolerant when asked if you have any medical conditions during booking. Thing is, every jail has different policies, so I have no idea if it produces any benefit at other jails or not. I just know that at the one I worked at, the gluten-free meal plan was of much higher quality. Don't cancel your room at a hotel. Maybe other hotels have day change policies, but at mine, if you just ask to change it to like 3 weeks ahead of today, wait 2 days or so, you can cancel it without a fee. I really have no idea why most people don't do this. Most people don't do it probably because it's so stupid they figure there's no way it'd be allowed. Accountant here. If you're reconciling a bank account and the balance in your ledger doesn't match what it's supposed to, multiply the difference by 9 and divide the difference by 9. If either one of these results is a whole number, you've got a transposition error somewhere. The wonderful property of 9 giving us 18 and 81, 27 and 72, 36 and 63, and 45 and 54. Worked for Gap Inc. for a while. The stuff that is sold at Gap is basically the exact same thing that is sold at Old Navy. It's just tagged differently. Worked for Gap. Can confirm. Vet assistant here. This isn't something we don't want you to know. However, brush your dog's teeth if at all possible. Dogs' mouths are built for tearing meat, not chewing kibble, and they do not have dexterous tongues. This means they get a lot of buildup and cannot clean their own teeth off the way a human or even a cat can. Over time, poor dental hygiene can lead to liver problems, pain, rotten teeth, gum disease, you name it. I once saw an older dog come in with seizures, one of them causing her to bleed from the mouth. We checked her out, thinking perhaps she bit her tongue. What we saw was layers of tartar so thick they were the width of an entire other tooth. Her teeth were so badly damaged that they cracked during her seizure, causing her mouth to bleed. If you're able to clean your dog's teeth yourself, it will save you the money of having a vet do a dental for you, no paying for anesthesia or labor. Toothpaste that is dog safe is sold at any pet store, or you could even use baking soda and water. I understand that some dogs will not allow you to do this. I really do. But for those of you that can brush your dog's teeth, your dog and your vet will thank you. I second this. I'm a vet. Public accounting is riddled with shortcut takers and people who don't actually know what they're talking about, but are good at documenting around it so it looks like they know what they're talking about. Roadie here. The best seats at any concert are not the front row. They're the 20 feet in front of and around the sound mixing board. We do our best to build the show to look and sound great everywhere, but since we spend most of our time tied to one location, that'll always be where it looks and sounds the best. I will also work pretty hard to avoid shooting lights directly into the eyes of a guy I have to see every day for 3 months, so you've got that going for you too. A lot of people think it's impossible to earn a living as a writer. It's not. The most important thing isn't being a good writer. It's not having unique ideas. The one thing you need to make a living is volume. If you can put out 1 to 2 million words a year, congratulations. You can be a writer. Regardless of the quality of your book, a 80k word count book in a popular genre will sell 100-200 copies. If you can put out 10-20 books a year, that's enough to get by, and at some point you'll probably luck out and one could sell 1,000 or more by itself. If you're just trying to make it big off one book, you're likely to fail, or if you're trying to reinvent literary fiction, but 10 cookie cutter year novels, even if they're complete trash, will pay your mortgage. We rotate beer in the cooler so the ones in front are about a week from expiration. If the cooler empties, we will fill from displays before we take the freshest beer from the back warehouse to rebuild said displays. This guy FIFOs. Actually, I do want you to know this. Don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. Also, don't talk to the police. Yes, yes, yes. In the US, They aren't kidding about using what you say against you in a court of law. And don't think that they won't twist your words, because they will. Sad, but true. If you are on certain programs, you are ineligible if you have a car. If that car has been up on blocks for 6 months because you don't have the money to repair it, you still have a car and do not qualify. Insurance is evil. That isn't a car, that's a car-shaped ornament. Banker here, we want you to know this. Fixing your terrible credit score can be remarkably easy. You need to get rid of the stuff that reports negatively, which usually takes a couple phone calls. Most creditors just want to collect a small recovery and they'll clear the derogatory account. Student loans in default can be rehabbed in a couple months. Biggest thing is, you need something to start reporting positively on your credit. Go online and find someone who will offer a secured credit card. Provide a $500 deposit into a restricted savings account, and the bank provides a $500 credit limit. Don't forget to pay it. Your score will begin improving immediately. When you qualify for a regular card, close the secured card, and they'll send your money back, plus interest. I have seen people increase their credit scores from the low 400s, very bad, to around 650, acceptable credit risk for nearly any lender, within just a few months by doing some very basic things, and it can have a tremendous positive impact on your life. You can buy a product key for Microsoft Office for literally a tenth of the cost of what Microsoft or other retailers will charge you for Office from their stores. Absolutely true. Got a new computer. Didn't have Office, so I went through to their text-based web service. Within 5 minutes I had a replacement Office 10 key for about £15, which can be used retroactively for my next 3 computers. Well impressed at that. If your cell phone isn't charging, chances are your charging port is clogged with lint. You can clean it out yourself easily. Just don't stick something conductive in there. That's something metal for those that don't know, like a paper clip. Don't use a paper clip or tweezers. Turn the phone off before you clean it out. Find something else to dig out the lint with, something plastic or non-conductive. If you are more technical, you can use a can of compressed air. Hold can at least 6 inches from charging port, or you can use something like a very thin ESD safe screwdriver or ESD tweezers if those will work. Or you can bring it to the local cell phone repair store where they will charge you $25 plus to bring your phone in the back, clean it out themselves in less than 5 minutes and then hand it back to you working, while you marvel at their skills because now your phone magically charges again. Same with the headphone port, if your phone has one. Yes, there are cases where there will actually be a damaged charging port. In this case you will need to have a professional repair it, if you are not a professional yourself, but it's best to try this first before assuming your phone is dead. Toothpicks work pretty well for this IMO. Industrial mechanic. More of an implied secret. It is said that the number 1 cause of machine failure is lack of lubrication, and the number 2 cause is excessive lubrication. That's a skewed statistic because very often a company will buy a machine, completely neglect to lubricate it for a few months, and when it suddenly self-destructs they panic, change all the fluids to pretend they were indeed maintaining it by the book, and in the process often overfill it, and they will call support saying that it just stopped working while under warranty. Not a mechanic, but I design a lot of them. We give the end user a chart and they still manage to screw it up. Change this filter after X hours, change the oil after X hours, etc. Then they don't, and try to come to us asking if their skid is still under warranty after it seized up. Oh, and once someone thought it was okay to disable a goddamn heat exchanger. A funeral home does have less expensive caskets available if keep asking. They have catalogs full of options. Also, they will tend to offer less expensive models in ugly colors. Just ask for a different color. The revenue recognition principle is one of the foundations of modern accounting. Basically, a business should record revenues in the period when the work related to the revenue was performed. But if you need a quick boost to your earnings, you could offer a discounted price to a customer today for work that won't be performed until next year. Recording it now artificially boosts your company's earnings. We just tell you that the thermostat is adjustable. It is in fact locked using the building control system, since you can't be trusted to use it correctly. Karen and Linda. You really don't need to buy new clothing every season. You don't need to buy cheap clothing that will fall apart or go out of style, but we will keep throwing it at you despite how devastating it is to the environment. Aerospace engineering. Orbital space is like radio spectrum. It's a common asset. It's loosely controlled by an international network of gentlemen's agreements. But any country could say frick it and start hogging it. The fact that no country has is a mix of circumstances and a testament to the best parts of human nature. Now a couple of companies want to flood low Earth orbit with thousands of satellites. This has the benefit of allowing them to establish a global network, yes, but it is also intentional squatting. It seems to me that these US-based firms are coordinating with the US government to squat on orbital real estate so we can build it out first and get an unfair leg up on the competition. There is no reason to build thousands of disposable space wasters when you can accomplish the same with 100 or so decent satellites. Auto-disabling images for your email inbox prevents open tracking and will result in you getting less marketing emails, assuming you don't click on any links, since engagement is a key indicator of whether we should send you something. Behavioral therapist. We actually do want you to know, but it's 2 simple tricks with kids. Set a contingency. First behavior you want to occur, then treat and let them pick the treat. Example, you want the kid to clean their room but they want video games. First clean your room, then you get to play video games. The other one is choices. Example, they need to do homework. Do you want to write with the mechanical pencil or the regular pencil? I work as an analytical chemist that tests food, and I can tell you the nutritional information on packaging is not accurate at all. When companies need to get that information, they will send their samples out to as many companies as possible and cherry pick the best results from the reports. Also, the client is the one who sent the sample in, so they can always add stuff to that one sample without anyone knowing to get good results. I don't know the prices for anything on purpose. I avoid finding out. They don't tell me. I don't ask and I won't look it up. If I know the prices and tell you, you won't sign up for a free quote, and my whole job is to get you to sign up for that quote. I don't know so that I don't have to lie to you. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.